September 23, 1780. Benedict Arnold's treachery is discovered. Before becoming a turncoat, Arnold was one of the Revolutionary Force's best generals, highly respected by George Washington. So why did a man born in America turn traitor to the cause of American independence? Nathaniel Philbrick, historian and author of Valiant Ambition, George Washington, Benedict Arnold, and the Fate of the American Revolution, provides some insight.
He was thin-skinned, and and he also had to deal with some pretty bad situations. He is the hero of Valcour Island. That winter, he's quite rightly expecting a promotion to Major General. He's the highest-ranking brigadier with the best record. But the Continental Congress, which is the ones that decide what Major Generals Washington will have, decides to institute a new policy where each state will have 2 major generals. And since Arnold's home state of Connecticut already has 2, they chose in their wisdom to overlook Arnold for promotion and promote 5 generals past him to Major General. And this angered him, and it perplexed Washington, who immediately wrote Arnold, say, look, I don't know what's going on here, but trust me, I will do everything I can to support you in this. And but Arnold, this began to change Arnold. He was like, here I am, I'm doing all of this, and I'm getting no respect for my own government. Why am I doing this? There was more than a little narcissism when it came to Arnold, and it really helped him on the battlefield. He could convince himself that, I'm going to do this and everybody should follow me and we're going to achieve it. And it almost always worked out that way. But that quality helped him when it came to the fact when he began to say, hey, why am I doing this? Our country is falling apart. The British have more respect for me than my own country. It's time the British came in, restored the liberties we had prior to the Revolution, and by my changing sides, I'm not betraying my country, I'm doing what's best for them. And so he could convince himself of this. He was hardwired to be a traitor.
It turns out Benedict was also influenced by his young wife, Peggy Shippen, who liked the British, and knew Major John Andre, who just happened to be their spy chief.
So they fall in love, and she says to Arnold, look how you're being treated by your own people. What are you doing here? And I don't think there's any accident that within a month of their marriage, Arnold sends his first feelers to the British, to none other than Major John Andre, who is in British-occupied New York and is now the British spy chief. They go back and forth for a year before he fully commits to this. But I think without Peggy, I don't know if it would have happened, because she really clearly, it's clear from the correspondence, she really was there stage managing much of this.
Most likely on September 21, 1780, Arnold meets Andre to tell him he will turn West Point over to the British and will join the British forces. But as Philbrick describes, within 2 days, Andre is arrested and Arnold's treachery is discovered.
Arnold's in his headquarters at a house right on the bank of the Hudson, just below West Point, when he gets a letter that Andre has been captured. And he knows, oh my gosh, this will be revealed. And Washington is due to show up any moment now. And so he runs up to Peggy, says, look, I got to get out of here. And he hops on his barge and is rowed down the river and eventually makes it to British-occupied New York. Washington arrives, and he's with Hamilton, Lafayette, Henry Knox, the 3 officers whom he's closest. And he gets this letter that informs him that they've captured Major John Andre, and they have evidence that Arnold is a spy, has wanted to turn over West Point to the British. Washington turns to Lafayette, just in his early 20s, French officer who's become almost a surrogate son to him, and he says, whom can we trust now? And I think that pretty much says it all. It just took the wind out of his sails. The general whom he had supported so wholeheartedly throughout over the course of the last 4 years had turned traitor.
Incredibly, Arnold was never captured. He actually served as a general for the British during the rest of the Revolution and lived rather ignominiously in both Britain and Canada after the war. George Washington, of course, became the president of a new nation.